to Health Unscripted. We have been on a little bit of a hiatus for a little over 2 years now. I just looked back and our last recorded episode was June 2024. So I have taken quite a bit of time off, but I think I'm ready to come back. We had some crazy business changes. We've pivoted to more of a functional health standpoint now. So we are definitely more in I like to call myself a clinical lifestyle coach, not a functional health coach, because I do think functional is getting a bad rap and we don't make you order a bunch of tests and send you on your way with a bunch of supplements when you're done working with us. We just simply bring the clinical knowledge to clients, and then we have a foundations first framework where we have you dial in nutrition, fitness, nervous system, sleep, all of it, and then supplements at the very top if we actually need something. So I'm really excited to be bringing this podcast back. If you're unfamiliar with Health Unscripted, this is literally a point and shoot. I don't edit anything. They're going to be easily digestible episodes, 20 to 30 minutes max. I generally solo record these, so we don't really have a lot of guests. It's just so that I can expand on a topic, because your girl likes to talk and I want you guys to be in the car, on a walk, some type of movement or just relocating, right? Going from A to B. And you can hear this wonderful voice on 1.5 speed. So today's episode, because I really want to dive into this topic, I see it all the time, is so you're doing all the right things. You're doing everything right, but why are you not getting results? Okay, we're doing everything right, but we're not getting results. And I'm here to unfortunately say that if you were actually doing everything right, the results would be there. So this is where we need to start with instead having the conversation of, how am I or why am I putting in so much effort and not seeing results of that effort? Because maybe we're not actually doing the right things that we need to be doing for ourselves. We're just expending effort on the wrong things. So it feels like we're doing a lot and then we're burnt out and then we're annoyed that we're not getting results. And here we are at square one all the time, starting over. So maybe you are someone who is working out and going to the gym 4 to 5 times a week. Maybe you are someone who is eating more healthfully and you're cutting out certain things in your diet. Maybe you are someone who is trying to really get a sleep routine down, but then we find out that you are actually following random videos on YouTube and you're not actually lifting with intensity or with a progressive overloads type of manner. Maybe we find out that just because you're eating more healthily doesn't actually mean you're in a calorie deficit, and that you really like high fat, healthy items like flax seeds, chia seeds, avocados, nut butter, olive oil. All of that is super high fat. Salmon, maybe certain cups of beef, right? Maybe we cut out the sugar, but we didn't necessarily cut out the calories. Okay. And then with sleep, maybe we are trying to do better at sleep, but we are not exactly getting deep sleep or REM sleep. We're just laying in bed for longer. That's not what we want either, right? So what I love to do with clients is first, I'd like to sit you guys down and we'll do like a little bit of a onboarding discovery call. Okay. And in that call, I ask you what your goals are. So we're going to get really, really specific. So I want you guys to do that now. Write down your goals. If it's a weight loss goal, I want the number of pounds you want to lose. I want the weight you want to get down to. If it is a pant size, I want you to write that down. If it is, whatever it is, I want it hyper specific. Okay. And then I want you then on that conversation, on that call, I go, what are you already doing to get these results? Okay. What are we already doing? And I hear all the time, well, I'm eating clean, right? Like what I've said, like I'm doing all these things. I'm just not seeing the results for myself. And then when we really rip into your habits and we have you start tracking, we notice, okay, we're actually doing a lot of the wrong things. So in this episode, we're going to kind of talk about a little bit of hormone health, and we're going to talk about why you guys need individualized plans, not the cookie cutter one size fits all plans that we tend to gravitate towards. And then we think that we're doing all this effort when it's not really made for us. So first up and foremost is the fad diets and the quick fixes. Everyone is familiar with intermittent fasting, with keto, with Optavia, with Weight Watchers, with all of these programs and supplements and things that are out on the market right now. And we're trying them, right? Like every couple of weeks, we see this new fad, we see this new thing, or that something worked for our friend Stephanie, so we want to try it, right? And we start doing it, not realizing that it's really unsustainable for us. So for example, keto, like, do you want to cut out carbs for the rest of your life? Probably not. So why are we even going to do that? Why are we even going to entertain it? And then you're going to say, well, I'll lose the weight first and then I'll incorporate more carbs back in. No, because you're not actually learning how to eat how you want to eat. You're losing a lot of water weight by eliminating carbs, because every gram of carbs has 3.4 grams of water that goes with it. All right. So we're losing a lot of water weight, and maybe keto puts us in a calorie deficit because we're eliminating an entire macro, but maybe it also doesn't because, as I just said, the fat calories are very dense and very heavy. So fat is very high in calories. It is 2 times more than protein and carbs plus 1. So protein and carbs is 4 calories per gram and fat is 9 calories per gram. So it adds up really, really quickly, okay? So if you don't want to give up carbs forever, then we probably don't want to do keto. We don't want to do anything that's going to be unsustainable for us. If you want to try intermittent fasting, why? First of all, data has shown that continued calorie restriction, which is a normal calorie deficit, is the same, and there's no difference with intermittent fasting. And so for women, I don't really love fasting because I want you guys to break your fast in the morning. I want you to, when we don't, it dysregulates blood sugar for the rest of the day. And for a lot of women, that is a big problem with energy, with fat storage, with cravings. So I want everyone eating breakfast and a high protein breakfast in the morning. So intermittent fasting also does not allow you to be social sometimes. Like maybe we have to cut off dinner at 7 and then you have a birthday dinner at 7:30 or 8 and you can't really partake. So you start cutting it back and you start, well, I'll just do it this once. And then you see where I'm going with this. It is unsustainable. Okay. So we have all these fad diets that we've tried. And we're realizing like, it's just not working. I've tried everything. I've done Weight Watchers too. And the problem with Weight Watchers is there's so many free foods now that I don't understand how that's even working. Like, okay, chicken breast is great and it's a free food, but chicken breast has calories. And if we still eat over our calorie maintenance, we will gain body fat. We won't lose. So again, not a perfect system. We need something custom and individualized because the type of work that we do and what we see is every woman is different. Even if you have 2 women who have the same disease states, their schedules are different. Their lives are different. Some may have kids, some may not. Some are CEOs, some are not. Some are both, okay? And so we only have as much energy availability in our days as we have. Not everyone has the same 24 hours, and I hate when people say that. I hate when it's usually the young trainers on here or the young PTs or influencers online saying everyone has the same 24 hours in a day. Bullshit, okay? I do not have kids, and I know that I don't have the same 24 hours in a day as moms do. I'm not going to sports. I'm not doing all of the family cooking, right? My time is spent in other ways as an entrepreneur, probably working a lot more, but again, we do not have the same 24 hours in a day. So we need something that fits your schedule and your hormones. So if you are someone, I like to use PMOS because I'm a big proponent of PMOS girls as well as hypothyroid because I also have both. So there's my village and origin story. If you have, let's say, hypothyroidism or Hashimoto's, doing more is going to be the worst thing for you. So maybe you are doing all the things right by standards of exercise, right? Like maybe you're going to the gym 5 days a week, you're in a calorie deficit, but you've cut out all carbs. If you have hypothyroid or Hashimoto's, we need to reduce stress and work on gut health. So if we're working out more, that could actually be increasing stress and causing more inflammation. If we are in a really, really, really low calorie deficit, that could actually be working against us because then our thyroid is not able to convert and work properly. If we are cutting out carbs especially, that's just going to drive cortisol up and it is going to decrease the conversion of thyroid hormone to the active thyroid hormone from T4 to T3. So again, we're kind of shooting ourselves in the foot here if we're doing too much, which is why we need to make sure we are learning from someone who can teach us what exactly we need to do with hypothyroid and Hashimoto's, but also not push balls to the wall. I see so many women who want to do all the right things. And I want you guys, from the bottom of my heart, I want your effort to be realized and I want it to be matched and I want you to see the results of your effort. But I want you and I need you to stop doing the random shit that you see on Instagram. I need you to stop doing the random workouts here or there that someone posted. I need you to stop following diet advice from some, whoever you see online, unless you are going to be working with that person and they know the ins and outs of your life. Maybe they've seen your blood work, they know your habits, because a lot of it comes down to behavioral and mindset changes as well. And sure, you can follow a meal plan, right? Like someone can give you a meal plan, you can go work with a dietitian, and then you don't follow it Friday, Saturday, or Sunday because none of your fun foods are on it and you want to drink at dinner. You want a glass of wine with your spouse for date night. You want margaritas with the girls, okay? You want brunch. And that's not on there. So then we throw the meal plan to the wind and we say, nah, I'll get back started on Monday. Okay, we'll start on Monday. So really what you need is someone who's able to teach you how to dine out in order in a better way, how to fit in fun foods without going overboard, how to say stop after 1 or 2 cocktails instead of going to 4 bottomless mimosa glasses. Okay, ladies, I'm calling you out here. How to split dessert or be satisfied with just a taste with just a taste or a bite instead of eating the entire thing, right? How to keep snacks in your house without having them call to you and, you have to go in and binge the whole bag of chips. So that is where the effort should be placed, is on mindset, behavior, and doing what is actually going to work for your body. If I have a client with insulin-resistant PMOS, I am going to have her working out and strength training. We are going to have her working on meal pairing and meal timing, as well as tracking her calories, because you cannot intuitively eat if you have PMOS, especially with insulin resistance and cravings and everything is off. And then if I have a client with adrenal PMOS, so there's 2 different drivers for you right there. The adrenal PMOS client needs to probably train less, needs to probably eat more and take a diet break. We need to control those stressors, and a calorie deficit is very stressful on the body. Training is stressful on the body in an adaptive way, but if you cannot recover from what you're already doing, we're not adapting, okay? We're not doing it. And so you have cortisol driving more androgens and testosterone. You have insulin driving more androgens and testosterone. Both of those things are going to increase fat storage and or decrease ovulation and what we need for proper hormone cycles. And that is why we lose our cycles. So I know this isn't like an episode on PMOS, but this is just an example of where your effort is mismatched and where you could be doing the wrong things. So what I want you guys to understand is that you need a system for your body. Even if you have PMOS and you are 32 and then your PMOS and you are 43, your plans will look different, even if you have the same driver of PMOS, because one is going to be nearing perimenopause and the other one is not. Okay. So what works for the 32-year-old is not going to work for the 43-year-old, because we will need to worry more about insulin and cortisol in the 43-year-old than we will in the 32-year-old. They are going to be more resilient. So if you guys are following the same blind plan and strategy, you're not going to get as good results as you think you are, because you need that custom system and that custom strategy forever. Plus, how many of you are so tired of starting and stopping plans over and over and over again? And again, they're not working, mostly because we're choosing the quick fixes and the fad diets, right? But what if you had just an entire system to return back to? Like, how this works in the body now, how you operate and how your body responds to this stimulus and to this food and to this way of eating and to this level of carbs. So even if you do go off the rails or go on vacation or do something, you now have a system to return back to that is an actual individualized strategy for you, not for anyone else, for you. So if you focus all your efforts on the right things that are actually going to move the needle for you, there is no way that you will not see success. If you keep focusing all your time and energy on the things that aren't really going to make a difference, then you are not going to see the level of success you want. What I like to relate this to is, like, let's say you and your partner, there's love languages, right? It's acts of service, words of affirmation, gifts, touch, and quality time. Let's say your partner's love language is words of affirmation. You could do all the touching. You can get them all the gifts. You can do all the quality time. But if you are not telling them, like, hey, you're really special to me, I love you because XYZ, whatever, it's not going to sink in. You are not going to get the same feedback and the same results as you would if you just focused all of your effort on pouring into words of affirmation. Okay. If your love language is touch, and you're, again, buying all the gifts, telling someone how wonderful they are, buying them coffee, but all they want is a hug. All they want you to do is hold their hand. You're not going to get the same results or the same reaction by not doing their love language, okay? This is the same thing with your results for your body and for your schedule. If you are putting the effort into the wrong things, you are not going to get the same output. Okay. So that is something that I really want you guys to focus on this time. And of course, like, I always recommend one-on-one coaching for this, because we cannot objectively look at ourselves and be like, well, what are we not doing for what we need? If we could, we would have already done it, right? So we have to outsource that. And maybe that looks like 4 to 6 months of a coaching practice or a VIP one-on-one call. We do offer those as well, for you guys to just, like, get the ins and outs of what's going on with your body and your blood work and to kind of figure out what that is. But nothing beats a custom system for you. Okay. Think about if you got a custom wedding dress, all right, or a custom outfit. you could go buy one off the rack, right? And they could size it to you as best as they could. Like I remember my prom dress. Oh my gosh, why did I think this was going to be? I wish I could attach pictures here. It was a lime green prom dress because neon colors were in when I was in high school. And it was probably a size 12 that they took down to a size 2 or a size 0. I think it was a size 0 in high school. It was a big number, okay? Like a size 10, size 12, something like that, that they took down to a size 0. When I tell you the boob portion of that dress was still way too big for my size 0, they made it fit me. It fit, nothing fell out, nothing whatever. But your girl had like maybe some B's in high school. This was before I was like dieting heavily and I was just littler, smaller. I had full B's, I think, B's-ish. And I took that from a 12, which, you know, so it didn't fit great, even though it was catered to me. If I had had a custom prom dress done, if I had had a custom lime green, it would have fit like a freaking glove for no one else would that have fit. And that is what your plan should feel like. You should feel like this plan fits you, your coach gets you, you get you. You understand your feedback cues, you understand your hunger hormones, you understand that your body really doesn't like dairy, even though you continue to eat dairy. All right. I'm sorry to say, but most of you are lactose intolerant, and that's just the name of the game. We kind of lose the lactase enzyme as we get older, and then we just continue eating because we like cheese and we like ice cream and we like milk. So what I want you guys to take away from this episode is that doing the random things, even though they seem like effort, is not actually helping you. It is actually delaying you in your progress. Just because you're expending energy to be busy doesn't mean that you are doing the thing that needs to get done or shortening your to-do list or getting any closer to that goal weight on the scale, those shorts you want to put back on, or that disease management where maybe you can get off of medication. Okay, so we really want to hyper focus on what strategy we need for our specific body and for our specific needs and go from there. I can tell you from my personal experience, as while I wrap up this podcast episode, I used to work out 5 to 6 days a week, sometimes 7. I used to do fasted cardio. I was eating so little. I cut out carbs because that is what the health industry was telling me I needed to do back in the day when I was in my mid-20s, okay? And then I got a hypothyroid diagnosis and my hormones were in the shitter. They were literally like none. Cortisol was 25. It was crazy. And at that time, I was still doing the things like that because I was like, oh, my body's just failing me. I just need medication, because that's what I thought as a pharmacist, Western medication. So I got on medication. None of it stopped. I didn't really feel any better. Nothing really was happening. We kept adjusting my doses of medication. And if you know, thyroid meds take at least 4 to 6 weeks to kick in. So it was a long wait. And when you're losing hair and you're feeling tired and you're just not yourself, that's a long time. It's a long time to give somebody. And then they try and put you on like other hormones, and progesterone I took for a little while. And yeah, so moral of the story, we got nowhere with Western medication really. Then I realized, oh, for someone with adrenal PCOS and someone with hypothyroidism, I can't train 6 or 7 days a week. I actually can only train 3 or 4 days a week. These HIIT classes that I'm doing all the time that are driving up cortisol that my body can't recover from, I need to stop doing those. I can do them maybe once a week because it's all about recovery and my body recovering versus me pushing it to the max. That 1,400 calories I was eating, no, girlfriend, we need to come out of that diet. We need to actually get to our maintenance and figure out what our maintenance even is, because at the time I had no idea what my maintenance even was. I think the most I was eating was 1,700 calories. And so, you know, in 2020, 2021, I actually got up to maybe 2,000 calories. And that was the most I had ever significantly eaten consistently. And I was like, wow, this is crazy. And now I'm up to 24. So I needed to eat more. I also needed to not remove carbs. That was just driving up stress insanely high. So I needed carbohydrates. And now at maintenance, I'm at 300 and I could go higher. Like my coach wants me to go higher. So what I'm saying is what I need for my body to feel its best as a 37-year-old female is carbs, is enough calories, is not a ton of training where I'm running my body into the ground. It is 8.5 hours of sleep. I'm useless under 7. I am. Water, hydration, all of that. So I know what works for me. And then I also know some women who don't have thyroid issues who can definitely go out and run 4 days a week, who can also do Pilates and strength train. And then they can get away with eating a little bit less or maybe more depending on their availability and energy needs. And I just can't do that. And that's okay, because I know what works for me and what makes me feel good and what still gets me results. If I was focusing on greens powders and just supplements to help me, and just medication and just like running my body, signing up for a high rocks, like I would not get the results that I currently have if I was trying to keep up with the Joneses and do all the fad diets. Keto would be the absolute worst diet for me. Same with intermittent fasting. No freaking way. Okay. So now you guys know this was the first episode. We're going to keep it pretty small and digestible, around 20 minutes, so that we can get like a little intro back into the show. My goal is to release these weekly and have different topics for hormones. I would love and appreciate some feedback from you guys. If you could, share it and tag me on Instagram, or rate it if you want to give the episode or the podcast in general a rating and write me a review. I would love you guys so much to keep this going. It's just a little side project for me, but I am so happy to be back, and I'm excited to get to know all of you and hear your stories. Find me on Instagram if you guys want to chat at dr.dwyer, dr.dwyer, and then slide me a DM. I am very chatty. If you want to check out our website, TeamBDNCoaching.com. Hope to hear from you guys. Bye.